Hi, I'm Paul, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how you might fine-tune your literature search strategy, when to start broad and when to focus. Starting broad would be useful if you are exploring and you need to get some background information on a topic, or when you're finding out about new discoveries. Keyword searching works in different databases on various topics. For example, you would use PubMed and put your keywords in there if you were looking for articles on medicine and public health topics. Other databases might be CINAHL if it's on nursing and allied health, PsycInfo if it's an article in psychiatry and psychology, the ERIC database if you want information about adult education. The Himmelfarb library has a large number of databases, and I would recommend looking at our library research guides to find out what databases we have on a particular topic. From the library website, the research guides are linked here on the right side, and for example, if I was interested in looking up the guide to find out databases on the subject of exercise science, I could either browse by subject and select exercise science from the list, or I could browse by school, select public health, and exercise science shows up here. When you might want to focus in is when you might want to operationalize a concept and find out how a particular tool or an idea has been used in clinical practice. It's also going to be a good idea to focus in when you wish to find journal articles that are written by specialists for their professional colleagues, for example on procedures and guidelines. There are different ways to focus in different databases, and these are often called filters. For example, in Scopus, you could use a highly cited journals filter and then search within the results using keywords. In PubMed, there is the ability to search the database using the medical subject headings that index each article, or alternately, you might wish to choose to search PubMed using a pre-existing evidence-based search filter. The library provides access to a database called Journal Citation Reports, and you might want to use JCR when you wish to find out which are the high-impact journals in a field. There are two editions for science and for social sciences. You pick a topic, for example, emergency medicine is going to be in the science edition, while psychology will be in the social science edition. You can then sort the results by impact factor. You'll be presented with a list of the top 10 or 20 journal titles on that field, and you could use those to build a search filter for the Scopus database. From the library website, I would click Databases. With the A to Z list, click J, click Access Online for journal citation reports, and say I was interested in emergency medicine, I would stick with the JCR Science edition. I would scroll down my list of topics until I find the one I'm interested in. And you can view the journal data in various different ways. By default, it's just by A to Z journal title name. I would change this to sort by impact factor. And when you click Submit, you then get a list of in this case, the top 24 journals in emergency medicine, using a impact factor that's calculated by the publisher Thomson Reuters. So here we see the top journal for emergency medicine is this Annals of Emergency Medicine. Now, one thing you could do would be, one by one, just copy a title of a journal, go into the Scopus database. You can paste it in and change this article title, change this to source title. And you're just searching for all the articles that are indexed in Scopus in Annals of Emergency Medicine. You can then search within these results. Let's say heart stent procedure. And then it brings up the relevant results, and then you could also sort these by the number of times cited if you so wished. And this is just for one individual journal. You could, of course, create a filter for all those top 20 journals. And that might look something like the one I've created for emergency medicine. You can find that on the Emergency Medicine Research Guide from the library website. On the right, under Research Guides, where it says Browse by Subject, just select Emergency Medicine. And the filter here, I could just copy, and within Scopus, I go to the Advanced Search page, paste the filter in here, and it's just going to bring up all the articles indexed in that database in those top 20 emergency medicine journals. I can then search within the results for my keywords, and I can sort these by the number of times cited, and I get the most highly cited articles showing up near the top. Now, the advantage of doing this, focused searching within high impact journals, are that in this case emergency physicians are able to find articles that are written by emergency physicians for emergency physicians. This is very good for finding information on particularly procedures. Emergency physicians who are treating an eye injury really don't care to read the scientific and academic ophthalmic literature. They're much more interested in the procedure. How do I do A followed by B and C? And so they want to find that type of article, in which case this would be a good way to do that. The PubMed database has different ways of searching as well. One way that you can do this is using the medical subject headings used to index each article. From within PubMed, you can click the link that says Mesh Database, and into your concepts one at a time. For instance, chemotherapy, if I type it in here, brings up a list of subject headings, and I just check the box next to the one I wish to use, and on the right click Add to Search Builder. And you can do this repeatedly one at a time. So if I started by putting in cancer, it would have put it in here like this, neoplasms bracket mesh. And then for a subsequent concept, I can put my keyword in at the top here, search, check the box next to drug therapy, add to search builder, and it's added my second concept, drug therapy. I can then click search PubMed, and it's going to focus just on those articles that are to do with cancer and drug therapy. There are other sources for searching databases as well. I would recommend systematic reviews are a good source for finding a database search strategy. A good systematic review ought to include the search strategy for at least one of the databases, and at the very least they should include the keywords that they used in order to search for that topic. There are also research institutes that publish their own evidence-based search filters, usually for the Medline or PubMed databases, but sometimes for others as well. And some of the examples of those would be the National Information Center on Health Services Research has PubMed search filters for health policy and for comparative effectiveness research. And other units include McMaster University Health Information Research Unit, and also from the UK, the University of York Centre for Reviews and Dissemination, which is the British equivalent for the PCORI Institute. And so these institutes, these research units, have already carried out extensive research in databases, and they usually publish their search filters, which in many cases are very easy to just then copy and paste into something like PubMed and find much more focused information on your topic.